Ready?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Romona Tyus, and I will be doing a lesson plan on kindergarten reading. In our class today, we have a daily plan. In our class today, the kindergartens will correctly match visual art on graph. The kindergartens will be learning about verbs and nouns today. And I will play, for the test Perry said I will play a 5-minute video watching how to put visual art on graphs correctly. The step-by-step instructions for today. For 13 minutes, the main focus in the class today is going to be action verbs and nouns. And the focus is how to put the verbs and the nouns in the columns and how to apply them to the worksheet and how to graph them on our learning charts in the classroom. The students will be identifying visual art and identifying the difference in graphs. Students will have worksheet and vocabulary tests to learn how to identify and put on the graph. Students will match and define words. What is visual art? This daily plan is in higher order. And what is visual art? This is an open door, and this is a higher order. What is visual art? Why is visual art important? Why are graphs so important? What are graphs? What are graphs important to us, to our students? The graphs and the visual art is important because the visual art gives your students a picture or a video to look at so you can better define the word. Like a story that we would read, and one of the nouns in the story would be dog. And say that the dog has on a red collar, or he's chasing a red ball. The students will have to pick out the noun and the verb in this story. And this is why it's important for us to have visual art. And this is why it's important also for us to have graphs. The students will learn how to graph their work on graphs, and what part of the graph do you put the noun on, and what part of the graph do you put the verb on. There will be columns, and there will be instructions describing that the nouns go here and the verbs, go over here, and match them with this picture on the graph. The guided practice. 5 minutes the students will have to select the visual art to use for worksheet. Select graphs to use for visual art. What visual art pictures describe vocabulary words? On what type of graph is used for the visual art pictures? Like, what type of graphs are we using? In kindergarten, we're using the bar graphs for the students to be able to match up and put the words on the graphs. The closure. The students will have 10 minutes. They will have 10 minutes to swap groups. They would get into groups and they would swap their work, and they would grade their work, and they would discuss it. And then I would have a student out of the group to get in front of the classroom to discuss their findings on what they thought was the noun and the verb. And I would want to know, like, what are learning charts? How are learning charts used? Where do we see visual art? I want my students to be able to recognize visual art, be able to describe what is going on in the picture, so they will be able to write this on a worksheet, or if it's vocabulary words, they will be able to write this down and describe it to me, letting me know what it is. Doing this daily plan that I put together is so that I can know what it is that my students are learning and if they are learning it. And the independent practice, they will have 20 minutes. Students will work individually on worksheets and graphs. Once done, get into groups and discuss in front of the class. The assessment, worksheets on identifying visual art to put on graphs. This will be activity worksheets. Many times it consists of drawing on a paper, and then many times it consists of getting on the internet and being able to match up the graphs. And the internet will help complete the worksheets. Learning styles. In our classroom, we have visual learners, we have auditory learners, we have kinesthetic learners, and it is good in our classroom to use videos. Video and audio. It's great because some students learn from seeing, and some students learn better from hearing, which most of the students in my class, they learn from both. and it's good to have both. And an early finisher student in my classroom, I would have them to draw visual arts or finish reading a story that we didn't finish or complete unfinished homework. Struggling students, I would give them time to discuss it in groups, but me as a teacher, I would discuss it. I would have to get into the group with the students and assist it, and have my, I would have to have my assistant teacher to look over the classroom while I discuss this with the students that are struggling, that is needing help with the lesson. Easily distracted students I would have stress balls ready to throw. Or if I'm busy with the group, I would have my assistant teacher to have balls to throw that ready to throw at the students so they can be still until everyone is done and the lessons are complete to go over. An alternate learning activity would be smart boards and worksheets. I love smart boards. I love to teach on smart boards. It keeps the students active. The learning expression. This lesson facilitates learning expression through speaking, listening, and drawing, because I have to speak and the students have to listen to me. They have to listen to the video. They hear the video. And this will connect back with student experience in the classroom. And the theory connections is that I use visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. And these are techniques to spark memory of how to create a visual art work on graphs. And now I'm going to move on to after this, I want to move on to a lower order daily plan that I created. Let's go to that. Let's switch over to that. And this lesson is also kindergarten, and it is reading. And in this daily plan, the students are also distinguishing between verbs and nouns, and they're matching them up on the matching games. And they will have a 4-minute video showing how to distinguish between the two. And the step-by-step instructions, it'll be 13 minutes, and the main focus is, once again, nouns and verbs and how to match them up, and knowing